I'm from Costa Rica, and oftentimes I see a lot of kids, college age, high school age, come to Costa Rica, spend a week there, and say that they're going to be helping kids, helping save the rainforest or something, and what they end up doing is basically tourism. And I have no problem with tourism, but I don't think that people should pose and say that they're helping out when they're not really having any sort of impact, and then putting something on their resume. I think that's fake and patronizing.
Sometimes that is the catalyst or starting point for them to develop more worldly interests outside of their current world. And personally for me, the most meaningful volunteering, but I don't even really like to call it volunteering, I like to call it like a cultural exchange, is when one person or a small group of people goes to a place for an extended period of time and really starts to understand the rhythm and the way of life there, and understand what they have to learn from the people there too, and not just what they can bring to the people there.
Oftentimes these sorts of experiences are sold as, trying to help people in foreign countries who do need the help. And I think there are two problems with that. First, it creates the perception that these people are in need of help to the degree where they cannot help themselves, and therefore I think it's better to help people help themselves as opposed to just going to a place and then trying to do good and then returning. And to give you an example, as I mentioned, kids who come to Costa Rica, by the time you add up the cost of a flight ticket, their stay, etc., 1 week in a foreign country can easily add up to over $1,000. And say you're wanting to help kids. Well, if you just wired $1,000, there's plenty of capable people who will put that money to good use, and that would have far more of an impact.
I think people here have a hard time giving their money to a place they haven't visited, when they don't have faces behind the donation, and it feels more personal when they go there and do something themselves, even if it isn't as meaningful. As I mentioned before, sometimes it serves as the catalyst or stepping stone for something more substantial, rather than donate or give people resources and supplies. It's more meaningful to help teach them themselves, and teach them skills, teach them English, teach them how to use a computer so they can go out and put these skills to use in their everyday lives, rather than coming and building something that's undoubtedly someone from their own country could do.
In conclusion, I think international volunteering can do more harm than good, especially when it's short term, and especially when it creates the erroneous perception that people in developing countries cannot aid themselves in situations where they very clearly could, and where direct donations would have a far larger impact.
I think any chance that one has to go out and see the world, maybe they're limited in time, is an opportunity, and it can always serve as a stepping stone for something later on in the road.